Welcome to this episode of the Harpreet Singh Show. I'm your host Harpreet Singh from Surrey, British Columbia, Canada. Today is the second Tuesday of the month, and as you eagerly wait for this day, because on this day we have a collaborative program with Canada India Network Society, and our focus is on integrative medicine. And today again, I have with me Dr. Arun Garg, who is the founder of Canada India Network Society, and also we'll be having Dr. Manjunath Sharma from India, who will be joining us soon because of some technical issues. He has not been able to join, so we will start off the program with Dr. Arun Garg. Dr. Garg, good evening. Welcome to the program.
Good evening, Namaskar. So nice to be with you always. I think our viewers are looking forward, and I'm looking forward because it's so informative and it's so far-reaching. And we
Absolutely.
are, so we really appreciate. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So, today we have Dr. Manjunath, who is the Director of Research from SVYASA University, Bangalore, and we'll be talking about the science behind integrative medicine. So, Dr. Garg, till the time he is able to join us, I know that Canada India Network Society is having its conference on June the 18th and 19th. So let's start off with that. How are the preparations
Sure.
going on, and what all can people expect this time? Because as it is going to be online only, people can register themselves and be a part of these deliberations. So could you please elaborate on that?
Yeah, for sure. Because you have been with us since very beginning, 2010, and we have evolved now. So this now is real reaching out to community. So it's open to everybody, and it's a public forum. And what we're really trying to do is take the message of self engagement and people themselves engaging in their own health. And that's what integrative medicine is all about, putting it
Wonderful.
all together.
And Dr.
And that's
Garg,
what,
I
yeah.
will ask you in details. We have our guest who has joined in, Dr. Manjunath. So let's welcome him. Dr. Manjunath, good morning from our side. Welcome to the program.
Very good morning to all Indian viewers, but very good evening to all of you in Canada.
Thank
It's my
you.
privilege to be part of this show, and thanks to Dr. Garg, who has taken this wonderful initiative, and thanks for you for really reaching it to millions of people.
Thank you so much. And again, the world has become a global village. I just saw a cup in your hand which had a Canadian emblem on it, our national emblem. So thank you for remembering us daily in your tea. So, Dr. Garg, without much ado, I would like you to introduce Dr. Manjunath, because people are eager to know about him. And we have heard a lot about him, that the kind of work that he has done is really inspirational. So please
Yeah,
tell us about Dr.
absolutely.
Manjunath.
Absolutely. It's a real privilege and pleasure to welcome my friend, Dr. Manjunath. We had the privilege of having Guruji, the Chancellor of SVYASA, Swami Vivekanand Yoga Ansathan Sanstha. This is a major deemed university in India, started several decades ago, in 1977. Dr. Manjunath is the director of research, and that's what I'm so excited about because this institute is dedicated to bring evidence and science in ancient Vedic philosophy and health, and really bring the best of East and best of West. And Dr. Manjunath has a PhD. He is a prolific researcher. He is editor of Indian Journal of Yoga. He has written peer-reviewed articles, and his passion, because he visited us a year ago. Canada India Network Society is a collaborator with SVYASA, and I had a lot of discussion. So this is the exciting part. And as we have talked many times, we want to take where it helps the Vedic yoga philosophy of health into mainstream and combine with the science of regular medicine. And that's what Dr. Manjunath is putting in real life. So I think very pleased to welcome Dr. Manjunath.
Thank you. Thank you very much for this wonderful introduction, Dr. Garg. So, Dr. Manjunath, you are an expert in this field, and today, from your wisdom, we would like to get some knowledge for our benefit also. The role of integrative medicine, the science behind this integrative medicine, and of course, breathing plays a very important role in it. And generally, we say that we do not know how to breathe. So, can you tell us something in details about what is it that we ought to know so that we can breathe well?
Yeah, I mean, it's a wonderful platform, as I mentioned, to be sharing thoughts on integrative medicine. And Dr. Garg is the right person to be bringing it to the larger population. When we talk about integrative medicine, there are lots of uh, connotations people attach to it. Number one, when we always say that integration is for the best benefit of a patient. So integration means you bring together a couple of modalities which are tested and which are scientific, which have a very good rationale for application in clinical purpose. So breathing is one very important tool when we bring yoga as part of integrative medicine, because in yoga, breathing occupies the most central core of its utility. So, when we talk of integrative medicine, as I mentioned, one is integrating either an intervention like yoga along with conventional medicine or any other traditional or complementary medicine. On the second side, you also have multiple components in yoga. So you were talking about breathing, but breathing is just one of the components, whereas yoga has got multiple components. So we also use this terminology integration in yoga itself. So we always use this terminology integrative approach of yoga, whereby we bring physical component of yoga, breathing component of yoga, relaxation component, as well as meditation component. So when we use these multiple things, there are specific and customized requirements which you can use for making an individual feel better. Coming to the most important aspect of breathing, you said it very right. Probably we have forgotten the right way of breathing because our lifestyle has pushed us to adopt various other ways of breathing, which can actually be putting a huge toll on our body. So the simplest way I would say, I would talk of breathing is the slower the breathing, the longer the life. Okay, so aging process has been directly connected with your breathing. We have such examples of few animals where it's ranging from somebody breathing at a very fast rate, living for very shorter duration, whereas a few animals, be it whales or tortoise or anything else, they breathe very slow and they live very longer. So there is a amazing science behind understanding this whole process of breathing and its influence on the body and mind. And we at Yoga University have taken it as one of the important component of our research, and we study breathing in depth to understand how we can adopt or how we can use it in multiple applications. So we had couple of such most earlier experiences using yoga and doing some kind of clinical studies. The very initial study was published in British Medical Journal in 1985, bringing a major breathing component into bronchial asthma management. So when you use pranayama, which is the Sanskrit term used for voluntarily regulating your breathing, demonstrated an amazing amount of improvement, not just in the issues related to breathing, like their lung functions, then their difficulty in breathing, and as well as a range of other aspects like panic associated with bronchial asthma, but also reduce the medication requirement, etc., in these patients. So that gave an indication that probably there is a direct application of breathing when you use it for human utility,
Right.
and there are lots of indirect applications of breathing. So direct, I said, maybe looking at respiratory system, because that's where we can just connect and say that when you breathe, the system which is getting influenced is your respiratory system, and that has brought breathing into very main focus during this COVID-19 whole situation, because now everything is to do with your
Absolutely.
breathing, and you are seeing situation in India and many other countries, particularly people are feeling that there is no oxygen in the air. Okay,
Absolutely.
so
So, Dr. Manjunath, thanks for this, what you have told, and we will go for a short break. It's time for a break, and once we come back, we will continue from here only and learn more from you as to, especially as you mentioned, the situation right now all over the world is very precarious. And right now is the time when people can understand the importance of breathing. So, some practical tips also we would like to take from you. We'll be shortly back and we'll continue with our discussion.
ਕੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਰੀ, ਡੈਲਟਾ, ਰਿਚਮੰਡ, ਐਬਸਫੋਰਡ ਜਾਂ ਵੈਂਕੂਵਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਨਵਾਂ ਘਰ ਬਣਾਉਣ ਬਾਰੇ ਸੋਚ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਜਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਪੁਰਾਣੇ ਘਰ ਨੂੰ ਰੈਨੋਵੇਟ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੋ? ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਲੋੜ ਹੈ ਇੱਕ ਤਜਰਬੇਕਾਰ ਬਿਲਡਰ, ਇੱਕ ਕ੍ਰੀਏਟਿਵ ਇੰਟੀਰੀਅਰ ਡਿਜ਼ਾਈਨਰ ਦੀ, ਜੋ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਸਹੀ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਗਾਈਡ ਕਰ ਸਕਣ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਸੁਪਨੇ ਦੇ ਘਰ ਨੂੰ ਉਸਾਰ ਸਕਣ। ਅੱਜ ਹੀ ਕਾਲ ਕਰੋ ਹਰਪ੍ਰੀਤ ਜਾਂ ਸੰਦੀਪ 6048259295 ਉੱਤੇ।
ਲੈਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੋ ਨਵੇਂ ਤੇ ਵਧੀਆ ਅਪਲਾਈਐਂਸਸ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਕਿ ਸਟੋਵ, ਓਵਨ, ਫ੍ਰਿਜ, ਵਾਸ਼ਰ ਡਰਾਇਰ, ਮਾਈਕ੍ਰੋਵੇਵ, ਫ੍ਰੀਜ਼ਰਸ ਜਾਂ ਡਿਸ਼ਵਾਸ਼ਰ, ਤਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਪਹੁੰਚੋ ਪ੍ਰੀਮੀਅਮ ਅਪਲਾਈਐਂਸਸ ਤੇ। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ 3 ਬ੍ਰਾਂਚਸ ਸਰੀ, ਐਬਸਫੋਰਡ ਤੇ ਚਿਲਵੈਕ ਵਿੱਚ ਹਨ। ਇੱਥੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਵਾਜਬ ਕੀਮਤਾਂ ਤੇ ਅਪਲਾਈਐਂਸਸ ਮਿਲਣਗੇ। ਇਹ ਡਿਲੀਵਰੀ ਤੇ ਇੰਸਟਾਲੇਸ਼ਨ ਵੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਨ। ਸਪੈਸ਼ਲ ਪੈਕੇजेस ਫॉर ਬਿਲਡਰਸ ਐਂਡ ਹੋਮ ਓਨਰਸ। ਕਾਲ 6045904140 604 590 4140।
है जुल्म ढाने का अंदाज भी कितना हंसी, हमारी जान पर बनाई है जब जब उसने अंगड़ाई ली। कभी खामोश रहते हैं, कभी शोर होता है। मोहब्बत में शरारत का मजा कुछ और होता है। दिल को जज्बात का तोहफा, खामोशियों को बात का तोहफा, खूबसूरती में जड़ी नजाकत अदाओं की चांद से मुखड़े को चांद सा तोहफा।
भारत ज्वेलर्स, सच्चे प्यार की चमक जैसा। पायल बिजनेस सेंटर सरी।
Once again, welcome back to the program. It's a great honor that we have Dr. Manjunath Sharma from Bangalore and Dr. Arun Garg with us today, and we are talking about the science behind integrative medicine. And before the break, Dr. Manjunath was talking about how breathing can play a very important role, and especially during this crisis. We are all knowing that how people are lacking oxygen and it's becoming a major headache for everyone. So we'll get back both our guests and continue with the discussion. But before that, some of our sponsors. This program has been brought to you with the support of Day-to-Day Wholesale Cash and Carry. This is British Columbia's largest South Asian grocery store where you can buy groceries, party-wear, kitchenware and homeware at wholesale prices. More than 5,000 products are displayed on the shelves. For best prices, unique grocery buying experience and high-quality products, come to 7843 128th Street, Surrey. Phone number is 604-503-8787. Our next sponsor is AMC Insurance. If you're wanting to have home, auto, travel, business, life or recreational insurance, they have 9 branches in the lower mainland to serve you, and they're open 7 days a week from 8:30 a.m. onwards till 9 p.m. For more information, call 604-507-6666. Let's get back our guests and continue with the discussion. Once again, Dr. Garg and Dr. Manjunath, welcome. So, Dr. Manjunath, before the break, you were talking that in this crisis, we have come to realize the importance of the oxygen that we get. And here again, breathing is an issue which many people are facing. Could you please talk a little bit in details about this and let us know some practical tips also which can be incorporated in our daily lives?
Yeah, very true. I mean, what we feel is at times we do forget that we are in this beautiful nature where everything is given to us by somebody, and we never realize the importance of it. And particularly during COVID-19, there is an experience that probably there is no oxygen in the air, and we have to be dependent on something artificial. And that's when we started looking at some of the yoga-based breathing practices to actually see it is not that you have any issue with oxygen in the air, but its utility. Your body is not able to utilize it, and your body is offering some kind of a resistance for its utilization. So we have these examples like your body has a lot of insulin, but it is not able to utilize it. So similarly, when you do breathing practices, be it very simple deep breathing from both the nostrils, or when you do uninostril breathing, like inhale from one side, exhale the other side, and you vice versa repeat it. What exactly happens is probably uh, number one, it works at the respiratory system level, and when you have this kind of a restricted movement, and your body is not cooperating with you for the expansion and squeezing back of the lungs, so it helps you in getting it back to its original normal position. So number two, it also helps in actually working through your nervous system. It sends such signals whereby that kind of a spasmodic kind of an influence what is there on your system can be probably withdrawn when you relax your not just the body but also the mind. And the third thing, it also brings in lots of chemicals in the body through its influence on the endocrine system, whereby it produces those most needed chemicals and withdraws the overproduction of certain chemicals. Like we have lots of issues related to inflammation during this time when an individual is going through COVID. So how do you reduce that? I mean, cytokine storm is one thing which makes an individual a simple disease becoming very suffering from severe disease. So probably simple breathing techniques along with certain yoga practices can help you in preventing certain things like a cytokine storm in COVID. So there are lots of benefits, and these are very few of them.
Great, wonderful. Thank you. Dr. Garg.
Yeah, so I think thank you very much, Dr. Manjunath, for that explanation. And maybe we could just explore a little bit further because this is the key of integrative medicine. You gave some definitions, and another way of looking at it is to take the best knowledge which exists in the yoga philosophy and the best knowledge which comes from allopathy and try to bring it where the gap is. And I think in terms of these chronic illnesses and even COVID, one thing I should say before we go any further, that this really is a conversation and suggested for information. We are not providing any specific medical recommendations or medical prescription to the individuals. They must see their own doctor.
Absolutely.
And this program is for information and education purposes only. So maybe I would like to explore a little further and use your immense research, the difference which yoga philosophy brings and the notion of mind and how pranayam, but also prana, the energy, relates to it, and the concept of nadis and chakras and the concept of mind. And I just finished taking the wonderful course which Dr. Nagendra gives at the university, and it's very illuminating. So maybe we could talk a little bit about the role of breathing and how mind plays such an important role in this, and how proper breathing and meditative states or relaxation and the importance of it is prevention and building the innate immunity so you can fight invasions better. So it might not, once the disease sets in, that's a different setup.
Right.
But the beauty is increasing the capacity to be better able to fight this immunity. So maybe we could talk a little bit more in details for our viewers.
Absolutely, why not? So definitely, Dr. Manjunath, we would like you to answer this question, but again, it's time for a short break. Let's go for a break. We'll be shortly back, and from here onwards, we will continue to learn from you as to what all we ought to know and how this concept of the science behind integrative medicine can be a wonderful boon for us. Whereas, like Dr. Garg mentioned, that the purpose of this program is information. And of course, if there are any diagnoses or anything, please go to your doctor. But the old ancient science of yoga and the modern allopathic, when they combine, wonders can happen. And we are talking all about this. So we'll be shortly back. ਛੋਟੇ ਘਰਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਵੱਡੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਜੈਕਟਸ ਤੱਕ ਬਾਹਰੋਂ ਸ਼ਿੰਗਾਰਨ ਲਈ ਮਸ਼ਹੂਰ ਹਨ ਜੇਰੇ ਸਟੋਨ ਕੰਪਨੀ ਵਾਲੇ। ਘਰ ਨੂੰ ਟ੍ਰੈਡੀਸ਼ਨਲ ਕੰਟੈਂਪਰੇਰੀ ਜਾਰਜੀਅਨ ਮਾਡਰਨ ਲੁੱਕ ਦੇਣੀ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਕਾਲ ਕਰੋ ਜੇਰੇ ਸਟੋਨ ਨੂੰ, ਜੋ ਆਪਣੇ ਕਾਬਲ ਸਟਾਫ ਨੂੰ ਭੇਜ ਕੇ ਫ੍ਰੀ ਐਸਟੀਮੇਟ ਦੇਣਗੇ। ਸਟੋਨ ਟਾਈਲਸ, ਅਰਬਨ ਸਟੋਨ, ਮੋਲਡਿੰਗਸ, ਐਕਸੈਸਰੀਜ਼, ਪਿਲਰਸ ਆਦਿ ਨੂੰ ਇੰਸਟਾਲ ਕਰਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹ ਮਹਾਰਤ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਹਨ। 25 ਸਾਲ ਦੀ ਵਾਰੰਟੀ, ਮੇਨਟੇਨੈਂਸ ਫ੍ਰੀ, ਗਵਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਅਪਰੂਵਡ ਟਾਈਲਸ ਦੀ ਵਰਤੋਂ ਕਰਕੇ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਵੇਖੋ। ਕਾਲ ਕਰੋ 6046149231 ਜਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਵਿਜ਼ਿਟ ਕਰੋ ਯੂਨਿਟ ਨੰਬਰ 500 1515 ਬ੍ਰੌਡਵੇ ਸਟਰੀਟ, ਪੋਰਟ ਕੁਕਟਲਮ।
ਕੁਦਰਤ ਦੇ ਸੌਮਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਵਰਤੋਂ ਆਯੁਰਵੇਦਾ ਰਾਹੀਂ 5000 ਸਾਲਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਚੱਲਦੀ ਆ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਹੁਣ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੀ ਬਣਾਏ ਗਏ ਹੈਲਥ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਅਪਰੂਵਡ 100% ਸ਼ੁੱਧ ਆਯੁਰਵੈਦਿਕ ਡਾਇਟਰੀ ਸਪਲੀਮੈਂਟਸ ਦਾ ਲਾਭ ਲੈ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। ਸਟ੍ਰੈਸ, ਐਂਗਜ਼ਾਇਟੀ, ਇਨਸੋਮਨੀਆ, ਬਲੱਡ ਸ਼ੂਗਰ, ਕਿਡਨੀ, ਬਲੈਡਰ, ਹਾਜ਼ਮਾ, ਆਈਸਾਈਟ ਜਾਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਵੀ ਕਿਸਮ ਦੀ ਬਿਮਾਰੀ ਦਾ ਆਰਗੈਨਿਕ ਇਲਾਜ, ਜੋੜਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਦਰਦਾਂ ਤੇ ਸਰੀਰਕ ਮਸਾਜ ਲਈ ਕਈ ਕਿਸਮ ਦੇ ਆਯੁਰਵੈਦਿਕ ਤੇਲ ਵੀ ਉਪਲਬਧ ਹਨ। ਹੋਲਸੇਲ ਕੀਮਤਾਂ ਲਈ ਕਾਲ 604 628 2003।
Once again, welcome back, and Dr. Manjunath, over to you, and we would like your answer on the question which was raised by Dr. Garg.
Yeah, I mean, yoga has been believed to be as a wonderful combination of holistic living on one side and disciplined living on the other side. So Dr. Garg mentioned multiple things. It's all described so well in ancient Indian literature, and that has been also put for test and experimentation over a period of time. Hence, it has been brought under the bigger gamut of evidence-based medicine. In yoga, we give a lot of importance to mind. So, if you take any definition of yoga, there is mind in it. So one of the well-known compiler of yoga sutras is sage Patanjali. He defines it as yoga chitta vritti nirodha. So which means it's the process of regulating or modifying various occupations of the mind. Okay, so basically to say that mental modifications are there, how do you bring in a regulation to it? And there's another taken from Yoga Vasista which says that mana prasha mana upayaha yogaha itya vidiyate. It's a wonderful tool to actually to calm down your mind. So various aspects of mind are looked upon well in detail, and how you can regulate this activity of the mind through various processes is also described in yoga. We were talking about breathing earlier. So the connection between breathing and mind is very well established. One shloka says that chale vate chale chittam nischalam nischalo bhavet yogis tanutvam apnoti thado vayu nirodayet, which means there is a direct connection between your breathing and the flow of thoughts in your mind. So probably the way you slow down your breathing, whether you participate or not, the thought processes also slows down in your mind. And faster the breathing, quicker the thought processes. Slower the breathing, slower the thought processes. This is the simple way of putting it. But when you actually try to regulate it, so we have the difficulty of regulating our mind. And that's why the simplest tool used to regulate your mind is your breathing. So any pranayama you do, it's all to bring in that kind of slow, number one, and awareness, number two. Today we talk about mindfulness all through. Mindfulness is nothing but bringing that awareness on one important aspect of your either physiological process or an external agent. So altogether, it's very important to bring in some kind of a regulation of our mind, relax your mind, calm down your mind, yet keep it focused. That's what we do in meditation. So meditation and pranayama plays very important role, because as Dr. Garg was mentioning, there are lots of other subtle aspects. So for this to happen, you have energy centers in the body, you have chakras in the body, and these actually regulate the flow of this vital force, and yoga practices can actually help you to bring in this regulation.
And Dr. Manjunath, because you mentioned focused quite a lot on slowing your breathing, so meditation is one aspect by which your breathing gets slower. Is there anything else also which can help us in slowing down our breathing?
Yeah, certainly. There was a study done by an Italian scientist published in British Medical Journal talking about chanting. Okay, so you have chanting in most of the faiths. So he compared two such chants. One is Rosary, what you use, and another is Ave Maria. So when he compared these two chants, what he observed was something very interesting. It both of them brought the breathing to 6 breaths, around 6 breaths per minute. So that was a common understanding. So probably when you do chanting, it easily brings your breathing to a slower phase. So people have this chanting as a regular practice without knowing any other additional scientific benefits. But one of the scientific benefit is you slow down breathing. When you slow down your breathing, if you can bring it to around 6 breaths per minute, there is a natural influence on autonomic nervous system, particularly the parasympathetic nervous system gets activated and it relaxes your body and it helps you to remove all the stress response in your body. So one of them is chanting for sure.
Okay, wonderful. Dr. Garg.
Yeah, no, I think just continuing this a little bit further, I think maybe we could talk a little bit about what is so unique about yoga and integrative medicine. So, breath, when we are breathing, it's just going up and down. We are not even aware of it, but we are breathing 16 minutes. And the pranayam, the practice of pranayam, the slow, relaxed, prolonged breath intakes and output, it becomes that you're focused on your breath. So, Dr. Manjunath, maybe through your research and the work you're doing, we could share how does that work and what is the evidence that it works and where we are going in the future, because future belongs to brain. And so we understand a lot about brain, but we understand very little about mind and how will that unfold. So maybe we could share some more wisdom on that.
Yeah, I mean, so far we have a decent amount of evidence understanding the science behind breathing and of course its application in various other aspects. One of the very important understanding is that when you do this use various indices of breathing through pranayama, so what you basically do is you actually manipulate either inhalation or exhalation. So in pranayama, the two things, inhalation and exhalation, have been given a lot of importance. Generally, it is said that you have to take a very deep breath when you inhale, and you have to exhale little longer than inhalation over a period of time. Slowly, you have to train your body to do that. Longer exhalation, as you know very well, that it has an influence on sinus arrhythmia, and so your heart rate reduces and your blood pressure reduces, etc. when you have the longer exhalation part of it. And the third thing what is spoken in yoga is about breath holding, kumbhaka. But this has to be taken or practiced with a lot of caution and practice because there can be amazing benefits what you can derive from breath holding, which is called kumbhaka. If it is not practiced properly, can also have some kind of side effects on your physiological functions. So hence it has to be taken very seriously. In yoga, there are 8 different practices are defined called Ashta Kumbhakas. So where you regulate your breathing either when you do it through the nose, or in some practices you use your mouth to inhale, and then finally what you try doing is you inhale deeper, exhale longer, and in some cases hold your breath either internal or external. So these are the 4 different ways you manipulate your breathing. And what we have seen over a period of time, little more than around 1,200 publications are there today, if you can look in PubMed,
Right.
which are only about pranayama. Otherwise, on yoga, we have little more than 7,000 publications now. So what it has suggested is not only influencing physiological functions, but also can influence the brain functions. So we had done lots of studies, a non-invasive method using non-invasive techniques to understand when you do this breath regulation, where exactly is in the brain there is either an activation or inhibition. One thing what we got a direct clue is that it definitely influences the mesencephalon and diencephalon area in the brain, which are all connected with, which are the relay centers in a way where the information processing happens. And primarily what we are trying to look at is, can the information processing can be enhanced, whether more number of neurons can be recruited for doing a task of relaxation response, or can you also improve your attention, memory, and various other cognitive functions by doing pranayama. So
Okay.
there are at least around 50, 60 publications in this relation.
So a lot of science behind it now. What is the future of integrative medicine? This we would like to touch in the last segment of this show. So it's time again for a short break. We'll go for a break and we'll be back, and then we'd like to learn from you the future, as well as what type of courses are offered by your university. As Dr. Garg mentioned, he's doing one. So while there's a lot of theory which is available today, but in practice also are some courses available at the university. So we'll talk all about this after the short break.
ਘਰ ਇੱਕ ਐਸੀ ਥਾਂ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਹਰ ਕੋਈ ਆਪਣੀ ਨਿੱਜੀ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦੇ ਸੁਨਹਿਰੀ ਪਲ ਯਾਦ ਰੱਖਦਾ ਹੈ। ਉਹ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਉਹ ਰਹਿੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਪਿਆਰ ਭਰਿਆ ਜੀਵਨ ਬਤੀਤ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ। ਇਹ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਹੀ ਪੂਰੀਆਂ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਜਦ ਕਿਸੇ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ ਨੂੰ ਸਜੇ ਹੋਏ ਘਰ 'ਚ ਬਦਲਿਆ ਜਾਵੇ। ਨਵੇਂ ਘਰਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਫਰੇਮਿੰਗ ਤੋਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਫਿਨਿਸ਼ਿੰਗ ਤੱਕ, ਡ੍ਰੇਪਰੀ, ਪੇਂਟਿੰਗਸ ਤੋਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਡੈਕੋਰੇਸ਼ਨ ਐਸੈਸਰੀਜ਼ ਤੱਕ, ਤੁਸੀਂ SK ਹੋਮ ਡਿਜ਼ਾਈਨਸ ਦੀਆਂ ਪ੍ਰੋਫੈਸ਼ਨਲ ਸਰਵਿਸਿਜ਼ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਸੁਪਨਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਘਰ ਨੂੰ ਹਕੀਕਤ 'ਚ ਬਦਲ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। ਕੰਟੈਕਟ ਕਰੋ ਸੰਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ 6048259295।
ਜੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਬਿਜ਼ਨਸਮੈਨ ਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਪਿਆਰ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਕੀ ਵਜ੍ਹਾ ਹੋ ਸਕਦੀ ਹੈ? ਸੁਖੀਬਾਟ ਮੋਟਰਸ ਦੇ ਓਨਰ ਸੁਖੀਬਾਟ ਨੂੰ ਵੇਖ ਕੇ ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਸਮਝ ਆ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ। ਇੰਟੈਲੀਜੈਂਸ ਦਾ ਉਦਾਹਰਨ ਇਹ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਕਾਰ ਸੈਗਮੈਂਟ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਖ ਸੁਖੀਬਾਟ ਮੋਟਰਸ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਏ ਨੇ ਸਰੀ ਦਾ ਪਹਿਲਾ ਟਰੱਕ ਸੈਂਟਰ, ਜਿੱਥੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਲੋੜ ਦੇ ਹਿਸਾਬ ਨਾਲ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਲੋੜੀਂਦੇ ਟਰੱਕਸ ਬਾਰੇ ਗਾਈਡੈਂਸ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ। ਸਪੇਸ, ਮੋਡੀਫਿਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਤੇ ਫਿਊਲ ਐਫੀਸ਼ੀਐਂਸੀ ਸਭ ਨੂੰ ਧਿਆਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਰੱਖਿਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ। ਸੁਖੀਬਾਟ ਟਰੱਕ ਸੈਂਟਰ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਟਰੱਕਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਹੈ ਟੌਰ।
Once again, welcome back to the program. This program is being brought to you with the support of Agnihotri Immigration Consulting. If you are wanting to know about temporary status, PR, you are new to Canada, you are an international student, you want to know about citizenship, you want to hire foreign workers, express entry, or sponsor parents or grandparents, you can depend upon the advice of Neera Agnihotri, who has been working as a certified immigration consultant since 2006. For more information, call 604-597-2284. Address is 12788 76A Avenue, Surrey. Neera Agnihotri, Certified Immigration Consultant. ਅੱਜ ਦਾ ਇਹ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਤੱਕ ਪਹੁੰਚਾਇਆ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਬੈਸਟ ਹੋਮ ਕਿਚਨ ਕੈਬਨਿਟਸ ਦੇ ਸਹਿਯੋਗ ਨਾਲ। ਘਰ ਦੀ ਸ਼ਾਨ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਕਿਚਨ, ਤੇ ਇਸ ਨੂੰ ਸੋਨਾ ਬਣਾਉਣ ਵਿੱਚ ਬੈਸਟ ਹੋਮ ਕਿਚਨ ਕੈਬਨਿਟਸ ਲੋਅਰ ਮੇਨਲੈਂਡ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੱਕ ਜਾਣੀ ਪਛਾਣੀ ਕੰਪਨੀ ਹਨ। ਕਸਟਮ ਹਾਈ ਐਂਡ ਘਰਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਮਲਟੀ ਯੂਨਿਟ ਪ੍ਰੋਜੈਕਟਸ ਇਹ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ। ਹਰ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦਾ ਸਪੈਸ਼ਲ ਕੈਬਨਿਟ ਦਾ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਾਉਣ ਲਈ ਬੈਸਟ ਹੋਮ ਕਿਚਨ ਕੈਬਨਿਟਸ ਨੂੰ ਯਾਦ ਰੱਖੋ। ਕਾਲ ਕਰੋ 604-591-8171 604-591-8171। ਸੁਰਜੀਤ ਤੇਸੀ ਨਾਲ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਹੋਏਗੀ। Let's get back our guests and continue with the discussion as to what all is the future of integrative medicine. And as Dr. Garg, you have been emphasizing on this, and over the years we have seen the kind of work that Canada India Network Society has done to spread awareness, especially in the Western world, about the importance of integrative medicine. We would like to commend you for that. And again, the university, SVYASA University, is a world-renowned university for this purpose. So, Dr. Manjunath, what would you like to tell us about this? What do you see? Where are we heading towards this aspect of integrative medicine?
See, I would say the future is in integrative medicine. So it is not talking about limitations of individual systems of medicine, but probably talking about the strengths of multiple systems, and also bringing them together in a way where we can understand and use them scientifically. So it is not just creating some mixopathy. Okay, so like there is allopathy, Ayurveda, naturopathy, and multiple other systems.
Yeah.
The idea is not to create that kind of a mixopathy, and for every disease, you should give around five different systems. You should bring them together. That's not the idea. The idea is very clear, and SVYASA University has made all the efforts in understanding this scientific process in bringing integration, because otherwise there are lots of negativity around integrative medicine, talking about when you are taking one line of treatment you should not use other. It is true. So because unless you know the science behind its combination, you are not supposed to use them for any patient utilization. Having said that, SVYASA has been trying this process for a little more than 40 years now. And we started as a research organization, and scientific evaluation and creating evidence is one of the fundamental activity. Apart from that, to reach it to more number of people, we created lots of programs, and we have become a university in 2002. Since then, as a university, we offer multiple training programs to people, which includes shortest 1 month yoga-based training program to around a doctoral program, which takes 3+ years. So when you do this, what is special about SVYASA is bringing that scientific approach in whatever you do.
Right.
For example, we have a Ayurveda medical college, we have a naturopathy medical college, we have a full-fledged yoga program. There are always issues in bringing them together. So when somebody is going through an Ayurveda intervention, do you really want to bring yoga with this? So what we did was initially tried with lots of such simple clinical trials only with Ayurveda, and add yoga along with Ayurveda and study them. So it has shown if it is taking around 8 to 10 days for some kind of an improvement in a clinical condition, with addition of yoga, it has shown similar changes in around 5 to 6 days. So this is just external observation. But when you look at clinical measures, amazing results. So similarly, when you really want to use it for a range of chronic illnesses, Dr. Garg was talking about non-communicable diseases, which are the major issue today, which is going to become the leading cause of health concern in the whole world.
Right.
So integrative medicine can probably add huge value in handling most of them.
Right. Dr. Garg, in conclusion,
Yeah,
time just flies in this program, and especially
Yeah, I
when
know
guests like
this
Dr. Manjunath are there.
there's so much we could share, but I think the one message we want to leave with our viewers is, because we are very much aware of the limitations and we are driven by science, but there is a gap, and that's what we are seeking, that gap, and filling that gap in chronic diseases. And what, in my perspective, yogic philosophy bring is the self-realization of placing the person at the center so they get more involved in their self-care. And that enhances the regular care. So this gap in chronic diseases, self-realization through meditative processes, through breathing processes, through asanas, and the whole thing which goes with it, I think is a real addition to lowering the burden of chronic diseases. And I would like to see lifestyle interventions. And lifestyle interventions play a major role. And I think this self-realization supports you in those lifestyle interventions.
Right.
And COVID is a very good example. My 5 Ps, prevention, protection, it's all based on you. But you don't do it unless you feel connected to it. So what the yoga philosophy is bringing is that connection. And I think, as Dr. Manjunath says, there are a couple of warnings. You must learn from appropriately trained people. There is no substitute. There is no easy solution. Breathing, asanas, all have to be done properly. You do more harm otherwise. And it's not a substitute either or. We need to use it where appropriate. We are not turning the clock back, but what we are saying is, going forward, let's enhance the care. So I'm very excited. And if I may say, Dr. Manjunath and Dr. Nagendra, the Chancellor, they both are supporting our efforts. And at the CINS 2021, They both will be there. Dr. Manjunath is the scientific co-chair of the program, and we have lined up a very good program where we're going in the trenches where locally people are using it and we'll be sharing it.
Wonderful.
So I think slowly and surely we're going to take this message out.
Right. And Dr. Garg, where can people register for the June 18th and 19th CINS conference?
Yeah, it's open now on our website, Canada India Network Society. If they just Google that, the web page will come and they could register. And we're already getting a very good reception.
Wonderful.
And we're looking forward to welcome Dr. Manjunath and Dr. Nagendra.
Absolutely. And Dr. Manjunath, for knowledge about your university, what's the website where people can go and search for the courses that are available online also?
Yeah, you can log into www.SVYASA.edu.in. So SVYASA stands for Swami Vivekananda Yoga Anusandhan Samsthana.
Right.
So it's a short form, and you get all the information on this. And just I wanted to add what Dr. Garg was mentioning. What we are looking at through giving yoga as an intervention is developing that something called conscious intelligence in an individual. So we are all looking at artificial intelligence today.
Right.
So what yoga does is empowers you. Yoga, whether you want or not, it happens in you. But there is a scientific basis to it. It is not just it's a magic or miracle. This is a very well-known mechanism through which it happens, and empowering you and bringing this as a discipline and adding it to your lifestyle. And it's a complete package, as Dr. Garg mentioned.
Right.
Yoga is a complete package. So it brings in change in your lifestyle. And we are all moving in that direction.
Right. Dr. Manjunath, my heart wants this program to continue, but mine says time is not permitting me. Thank you very much for sparing your time and sharing with us your words of wisdom. And we are sure with today's program, a lot of people will empower themselves and get registered at the various courses that are available at the university. And Dr. Garg, once again, thank you for getting Dr. Manjunath on board. It was a pleasure talking to both of you. Thank you very much. Have a safe evening. Stay healthy and enjoy yourself. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. And I think our heart goes to all the people who are suffering from COVID, and especially what India is going through.
Absolutely.
And special thanks to
prayers.
Dr. Manjunath, beside his busy schedule, that he has joined us.
Absolutely.
So our
and
prayers
our
are with
for
everyone.
the early recovery of everyone in India, and soon things get better. And Dr. Manjunath, we'll be coming over to you in Bangalore and meeting you in person also. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Wonderful.
So with this, we would like to end today's program. As you listen to both these experts, lifestyle intervention, what Dr. Garg mentioned and what Dr. Manjunath mentioned, was to bring about the desired changes in our own lifestyle. That is the most important thing. And the future of integrative medicine is great, and these are not separate systems. All are complementary to each other, and this is what the future holds for us, but we have to become responsible for our own selves. Thank you very much to all the guests and the viewers also from around the world who are watching this program. With this, I would like to end this program. See you again soon. Have a safe evening, stay healthy, and enjoy yourself. ਵੈਨਕਾਸਾ ਟਾਈਲ ਅਤੇ ਸਟੋਨ ਸ਼ੋਰੂਮ ਇੱਕ ਐਸੀ ਥਾਂ ਹੈ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਹੋਲਸੇਲ ਕੀਮਤਾਂ ਤੇ ਹਰ ਕਿਸਮ ਦੀਆਂ ਟਾਈਲਸ, ਸਟੋਨ, ਮਾਰਬਲ, ਬੈਕਸਪਲੈਸ਼, ਮੋਜ਼ੇਕ ਆਦਿ ਵਾਜਬ ਕੀਮਤਾਂ ਤੇ ਮਿਲ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ। ਇਟਾਲੀਅਨ, ਸਪੈਨਿਸ਼, ਚਾਈਨੀਜ਼ ਪੋਰਸਲਨ ਜਾਂ ਸਿਰੈਮਿਕ ਟਾਈਲਸ ਜਾਂ ਮਾਰਬਲ ਸਪੈਸ਼ਲ ਆਰਡਰ ਤੇ ਜਾਂ ਕਲੀਅਰੈਂਸ ਤੇ ਲੈ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। ਮਾਲਕ ਡਾਇਰੈਕਟ ਟਾਈਲਸ ਇੰਪੋਰਟ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਨ, ਜਿਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਵਧੀਆ ਕੁਆਲਿਟੀ ਦਾ ਸਮਾਨ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਘਰ ਦਾ ਸ਼ਿੰਗਾਰ ਬਣਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। ਅੱਜ ਹੀ ਵਿਜ਼ਿਟ ਕਰੋ 13042 84 ਐਵਨਿਊ ਸਰੀ। ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਹਿੰਦੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਨ ਲਈ ਕਾਲ ਕਰੋ 604 330 7363 604 330 7363।